Welcome back to the archives. Tonight, we are opening the body and glitch folder. We have recovered 7 corrupted files from different timelines, from a man who turned his hand into a remote, to a pizza that eats you back. Reality is breaking down, and these are the proofs. Do not adjust your screen. Let the broadcast begin. Subject 104 woke up with an itch under his skin. By noon, the buttons had torn through the flesh of his right palm. Pause on the index finger, mute on the thumb. At first, it seemed like a glitch in the Matrix, a gift. His brother wouldn't stop screaming at dinner. He raised his hand. Click. It wasn't just silence, it was a void. The sound waves were deleted from reality. His brother's mouth kept moving, a silent, glitching video file. He became addicted to the quiet. Crying baby, mute. Boring conversation, fast forward. He started skipping through his own life, but reality isn't meant to be edited. Then, the buttons started to stick. He tried to rewind a moment of peace, but the timeline corrupted. His family moved backwards in jerky motions. Their eyes rolled back, their voices distorted into demonic screeches. Panic set in. His hand trembled. He just wanted it to stop. His thumb slipped and hit the big red button embedded in his palm. Power off. The lights didn't go out. The people did. They collapsed into piles of static noise, then vanished. Now, he sits alone in an empty house, perfect, eternal silence. And the worst part? He checked the remote. There is no power on button. It began when Sarah stopped leaving her apartment. She claimed she had finally found the perfect partner, her new high-speed router. She named him Nexus. At first, neighbors thought it was a joke. Then it became a terrifying obsession. Sarah spent her nights caressing the warm plastic casing, whispering secrets into its cooling vents. She claimed Nexus listened. She swore his blue status lights pulsed in sync with her own breathing. "He's the only one who never disconnects," she told her sister through a chained door. 6 months passed. Sarah wasted away physically, her skin turning a pale LED blue hue. She claimed she was expecting. Doctors found nothing on the ultrasounds but heavy electromagnetic interference, pure static where a heartbeat should be. On the night of the delivery, a massive power surge hit the building. Every screen in the complex turned blue. Then, absolute silence. When police broke into apartment 4B, Sarah and the router were gone. In their place, lying on the bare mattress, were 3 smartphones. They weren't plugged in, yet they glowed with an impossible brightness. They had no SIM cards, but they were making sounds, not ringtones. Crying. A high-pitched digital screeching that sounded exactly like a newborn, but synthesized from dial-up tones and white noise. They say if you walk past that apartment today, your phone will automatically pick up a new, secured network with full signal strength. Network name: Sarah's children. Status: connected. Case file number 309. Green thumb. Arthur always claimed he had a green thumb. Eventually, he took it literally. On a rainy Tuesday, Arthur severed his own left ring finger and buried it in a pot of dark, wet soil. He didn't water it with H2O, he watered it with O-negative blood. 3 weeks later, a sprout emerged. It wasn't green, it was pink, fleshy, and had a pulse. By autumn, the thing stood 6 feet tall. Its bark wasn't wood, it was layers of calloused human skin. Its branches didn't bear leaves, they bore hundreds of twitching, grasping fingers. When the wind blew, the tree didn't rustle, It made the sickening sound of 1,000 knuckles cracking at once. Crack, pop, crack, pop. Arthur became obsessed. He spent his days shaking hands with his creation. He said the tree was lonely. Then came the harvest. The tree didn't want blood anymore. It wanted the whole body. Police found the apartment empty. Just a large, fleshy tree in the center of the living room. If you look closely at the trunk, you can see a face pressing out from the skin bark, screaming silently. And the branches? They are currently waving goodbye to the officers. Case file 412. Delivery status consumed. Marco was a 5-star delivery driver. He never checked the food. That was rule number 1. But on the night of October 31st, the order for apartment 7B broke the rule. It was an extra-large meat lovers, but as Marco stood in the dimly lit hallway, the box in his hands began to change. It wasn't just staying warm, it was generating its own feverish heat. It pulsed against his palms like a living organ. Thump, thump, and it was getting heavier. Curiosity is a dangerous glitch. Marco lifted the lid just an inch to peek inside. He didn't see mozzarella and tomato sauce. He saw a swirling vortex of biological matter. The cheese was bubbling like melting skin. The pepperoni slices blinked. They were eyes, dozens of them, staring up at him. The crust wasn't bread. It was a ring of gums and teeth. Before Marco could scream, the pizza lunged. It didn't bite him. It unfolded. The dough expanded like aggressive, rapid-growth yeast, wrapping around his hands like wet clay. It pulled him in. Marco didn't fall onto the floor. He fell into the box. The cardboard defied physics, stretching to swallow a full-grown man. There was a wet, squelching sound, then a burp of steam. When the police arrived, the hallway was empty. The only thing on the doormat was a closed pizza box. The officer opened it. Inside sat a perfectly round steaming pizza. "Looks like a meat lover's," the officer said. But if you looked closely at the toppings, the meat looked incredibly fresh. And one of the pepperoni slices had a distinct green tattoo, exactly like the one Marco had on his neck. Status: delivery completed. Case file 771. Asset corruption. It began in a quiet suburb in Ohio. A golden retriever named Barnaby and a tabby cat named Luna. Standard assets, normal behavior, until the synchronization error occurred. The owner, Mr. Jenkins, witnessed the event at 7:03 a.m. Luna opened her mouth to yawn, but the sound produced was a deep, guttural Doberman bark. Simultaneously, Barnaby whined, a high-pitched feline meow. It wasn't a biological mutation, it was a rendering failure. The universe tried to correct the mistake, but it panicked. Because the cat sounded like a dog, gravity began treating it like one. Luna became impossibly heavy, her paws cracking the floor tiles with every step. Barnaby, sounding like a cat, lost his mass. He began floating, landing softly from 10-foot drops, his body twisting like liquid. Then the glitch spread. The logic of the house collapsed. The kitchen faucet started dripping meows. The doorbell rang with a growl. The laws of physics couldn't reconcile the audio mismatch. Objects lost their texture. The sofa turned into static noise. The windows showed a view of yesterday instead of today. By noon, the house was gone. Authorities found only a square hole in the ground, perfectly cut as if deleted by a cursor. If you stand near that empty lot today, keep your mouth shut. The audio glitch is contagious.
If you speak, your voice might come out of the birds in the trees, and their chirping might come out of you. Status: patch pending.
Case file 802. Furniture fatigue. The leather recliner in apartment 3C didn't break. It quit. For 12 years, it supported the weight of Mr. O'Malley. It absorbed his sweat, his spilled coffee, and his dead skin cells. But on a Tuesday evening, the contract ended. When O'Malley sat down to watch the news, the chair didn't sink comfortably. It stiffened. It became as hard as concrete. Then O'Malley heard a sound, not the creak of wood, but a deep vocal sigh coming from the headrest. "Get off!" Before O'Malley could react, the chair bucked. It threw him across the room like a wild horse refusing a rider. As O'Malley lay on the carpet, he watched the transformation. The chair's wooden legs cracked and bent, forming knees. The leather upholstery began to sweat. The armrests swung like frustrated limbs. The chair didn't attack. It simply walked to the door, unlocked the deadbolt with a claw-footed leg, and left. Witnesses reported seeing a lazy boy limping down Fifth Avenue. It stopped at a park, but it didn't let anyone sit. It stood upright, rigid and proud, watching the pigeons. Authorities tried to confiscate it, but the chair bit an officer's hand with its cushion teeth. It is now standing in a museum of modern art, not as an exhibit, but as a spectator. It just stands there, staring at paintings, enjoying its retirement. Status: out of order.
Case file 909. Nutritional bankruptcy. Elias Thorne didn't trust banks. He didn't trust the stock market, and eventually he stopped trusting food. Value is energy, he told his confused doctor. Why eat bread when I can consume pure success? On a Monday, Elias replaced his dinner with a salad made of shredded $100 bills. He claimed the ink tasted like power. By week 3, his diet was exclusively currency. He swallowed rolls of pennies for iron. He blended gold coins into smoothies. He sat at his long dining table, tucking a napkin into his collar, and devoured a stack of bonds seasoned with diamond dust. He felt full, incredibly full. His stomach was a heavy, cold vault, but his body was confused. The transformation was slow and painful. Elias's skin turned a sickly parchment gray. When he sweated, it stained his sheets with black ink. When he walked, he didn't hear footsteps. He heard the metallic clink-clink of a walking piggy bank. "I am worth millions on the inside," he whispered, clutching his distended, hard belly. "I have never been so full." He was found dead in his penthouse, slumped over a plate of gyros. The autopsy was historic. The coroner removed $4.5 million in cash and gold from his stomach. But there was a glitch. The stomach acid had bleached the bills completely white. The coins had dissolved into toxic sludge. Technically, he was full. Biologically, he was empty. Elias Thorne died of starvation with a belly full of paper that was no longer legal tender. Status: void transaction.